Hey everybody, it is October 31st, Halloween, 2012. I'm dressed up like a hockey player. Um, One second. Uh, I wanted to say that I go through these times. I had my tooth taken care of. It seems to be a little better, but it was hurting last night. I still have the extra spasm in the coin purse. Uh, but I go through these times. Sometimes I think that it's worth it to survive just as long as I can, just so I can damage Bayer's profits as much as possible with Bayer and Johnson. Um, the news about fluoroquinolone antibiotics is starting to leak out. I think there's an article in the New York Times about it, and that's pretty big. That was September of this year. Um, I think within the next year, it's really going to be out, and it's just going to start to spread, and they're going to be banned within 2 or 3 years, maybe 5, because they make them so much money. In case you didn't know it, I was damaged by Cipro in September 2011. Cipro and Levaquin are in a class of antibiotics called fluoroquinolone antibiotics, which are supposed to be used to treat anthrax. Okay, that's how powerful they are. So, but they're prescribed as a first line of defense for suspected infections. And the reason that this is because they get you sicker, they do permanent damage, and you come back to the doctor and you need more and more drugs for the rest of your life. And that makes the drug companies the most money. That's the bottom line. Is they want to make you sicker for life. And that's why they give you these drugs. And that's why they grease off the FDA, and the doctors get greased. Everybody gets greased so they can make more money. So the Bayer can make a bigger profit. And it's probably the most criminal thing I can think of that goes on in this world is what Big Pharma does. And those are the main agent, and I was a victim of it. And I was also a victim of my own stupidity and continuing to take it. Anyways, I'm supposed to be telling part 3 of my synopsis. Okay, it's just so crazy. It's hard to tell it in sequence without having written it down. Let me recap. Nerve damage from Cipro, along with the usual toxicity syndrome, destruction of the DNA, which causes your body to forget how to heal, basically, and continuing weakness, fatigue, unable to work. While I was working, I was going to physical therapy and trying to figure out why I had this non-stop spasm. And the physical therapist did something called internal release. She goes up your you-know-what, because that's where the spasm is. And she was able to put her fingers on it and feel it. Literally feel the spasm going and try to massage it to get it to stop, but it would never stop. And when she would put her fingers on it, I would feel this very strange fatigue on the back right side of my neck, which really makes me think, CNS damage, nerve damage. So continuing to get weak, misled thinking it was from the Lyme. I went on my Lyme quest out to Arizona, where it was very beautiful. I met nice people. I saw a beautiful landscape. but sick the whole time, and weaker and scared and anxious, having to do things I never had to do before to take care of myself. Um, Thinking it was Lyme the whole time, but not realizing that it was the FQ toxicity. Got hooked up with a really great guy to stay with, free room and rent. I mean, room and board, great location, great setup. And freaked out at the last second and got home, a little homesick, I guess. And my mom was telling me to come back home, and my sister made it seem like it would be easy to come back and live with her. So I figured I would stop in Florida at the last second to see this lady that I had been talking to the whole time about Lyme disease, running back and forth, getting all these different supplements, basically doing whatever she thought I should for Lyme, including enemas all the time and colonics. And she meant well, but it was a lot of work, and it was probably more than I needed to do, considering what I was, truly suffering from. The fluoroquinolones also damaged my colon. Tell you that much. Because I wasn't able to go to the bathroom, and the fluoroquinolones were in that area of my gut for so long that I was in so much pain, more pain I've ever been in my life. Barely able to walk, and they destroyed the nerves down there in my colon. I don't know how much of those have regenerated, if at all, but when the gastro took the sigmoidoscopy, she actually noted, hey, there's no motility in this area of your colon, and it looked like a disaster zone. But anyways, so I was obsessed with that and my bowels and going to the bathroom the whole time in Arizona, and Lyme, and thinking maybe I was getting ripped off, going with this naturopath doctor. And the last second I decided not to do her treatment of ozone and nutritional IVs and all this stuff, which I regret a lot. I just regret leaving Arizona. Excuse me. And Steve, just the nicest guy, that I'll ever meet. Cool guy, we had a lot in common, stocks and computers and dogs, and like a brother I never had, and I'll probably never see again. And I only met him for a couple weeks. So I went to Florida to stay with this lady. It's kind of a lower class house. It's kind of dirty. And she showed me, if you haven't heard of Rife machines, they're these machines that generate EMF at a certain frequency that's supposed to kill bacteria. And she showed me hers, and I used it on myself, and we were getting colonics, and she ate not as strict as I thought you would for Lyme disease. They kind of cheated a lot, and so I was kind of not eating right, and very depressed out there in Florida. It was Fort Lauderdale. I have a lot of videos out there, and you can watch them, But they're out there for 2 weeks, and then decided to come stay with my sister. Still feeling really bad. I got to my sister's, and I was trying to do the right thing, and I had even ordered an ozone machine, because she was convinced that ozone was the way to defeat Lyme, and it was like ozone was just everything. And a product called MMS. And then another lady I've been talking to about Lyme was convinced that a product called Asea was the miracle, or food grade hydrogen peroxide. So I'm doing all these things at my sister's, and I think my body was just getting taxed, and overloaded. This was in January of 2012. December of 2012, right before Christmas, I went to my sister's.